Well, hello everybody. Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerStore.com and PressureWashingSchool.com. By the way, we are located right here in Porter, Texas, Houston, Texas area, right outside of Humble, Kingwood area, right off of Loop 494 and US 59 area. So if you're ever in the area, man, stop in and see us, say hello, talk some shop, buy something if you need to, but would love to meet you. And we're here to service all of your Houston, Texas pressure washing, soft washing supplies, equipment, chemicals, whatever you need. And of course, we ship throughout the United States and beyond. So yeah, stop in sometime if you can. Hey, I want to do a quick video today on nozzle selection for soft washing via downstreaming. So stay tuned for that coming up next. All right, guys, so the purpose of this video, and I hope I don't make this so confusing, but just wanted to show you a couple of different nozzle selections that aren't kind of the norm or what, a lot of people use. Just kind of want to show you something that I use that I really like and I found very helpful. This is a traditional J-rod setup, and it's going to have a soap high right there, a soap low. This is a rinse nozzle that you can use for rinsing. It'll actually, if you don't have a bypass injector or a remote, that will cut the flow off of your bleach mix coming through. And this is a rinse high nozzle, and it will do the same thing, cut off the flow of the bleach. But the problem with this one is that it's like a red tip, 0 degree, and so it's a lot of pressure, and you end up having to rinse with a lot of mist because you have to stay off the surface. So that one rarely ever gets used on the J-rod setup. These three do, but this low nozzle you can always get away with just applying when you're applying down low, and even going up high if you need to, with just a ball valve setup and spraying out of your fitting. Whether you have this fitting on the end of the gun, that's what I spray out of. Some guys will spray out of that end, so that's just a personal preference thing. I just prefer the plug. And you can crack this a little bit and get good distance. To spray up a little high, you're going to have quite a bit of flow coming out, and you could actually crack it a little bit more and it would stop the flow of your bleach mix coming out, but you got to be careful not to crack it too much and bog your machine down. So a lot of guys use these setups, these two nozzle. This is the C&R dual tip holder along with a sharpshooter for a 6 gallon per minute. And then a lot of people will have, for some reason, this X-Jet M5 twist on the other side, and I've never quite understood that or used this setup, but I think if you're cleaning a lot of soft surfaces like vinyl siding, hardy plank, metal, whatever, that comes in real handy for applying and just rinsing. But this is a shooter tip, and this is a shooter tip, but it can also be rotated to fan out your spray. And so when I say I don't understand it, I mean, I could always just, when you're going to fan down low. So you've got 2 shooter nozzles and then a fan spray on there. And so I could use, again, the open ball valve to apply my mix on low surfaces down below. So I don't really use this type setup. Now this is interchangeable because you have a quick connect, so you can adapt this nozzle size over here, or this side for the nozzle, to anything you want. So what I use is I'll use a 05 nozzle. There's like 0515, 0540, 0550, 0560. And the reason I use those is because they give me enough pressure to where I can rinse really well, and also a lot of pressure. Let's say I'm using just the end of the gun like this. A lot of people will. You can have enough pressure on this coming out to where you can clean stuff off brick. If you're using it to rinse concrete, then you can get down and let's say you missed a little spot on concrete with your surface cleaner. We all do that. This you can get right down on it and you can take care of that without having to get a gun out or the surface cleaner. You could also crack your ball valve down for a minute, really, you know, with a lot of pressure and hit that spot as well. But that's what I use mostly on my 2 nozzle setup. As a matter of fact, this is my setup for my 8 gallon per minute. This is what I use pretty much on a daily basis, and it's the only 2 nozzles that I really use. I've got my shooter nozzle so I can get up high. This is an 0540 nozzle. And so this nozzle is wide enough to give me some good pressure to hit brick from, you know, and I don't have to get real close to it. So I can have this on the end of my gun, whether it's just set up like this. Okay. And that gives me enough that I can get down pretty close to it and I can knock off any algae or whatever that's on the brick. And I can also use it for rinsing, you know, the driveway down, parking lot, whatever. So you can set it up like that, or most guys use what's called our pressure wash gun assembly, and they'll have it off the end of this. And so now you can easily just switch between these nozzles if you have to shoot up high. And then since we have the Flow Pro remote, I can apply my bleach mix with this because the orifice is wide enough to draw the chemical. And then I can shut the, go to rinse, and I can rinse with this. It's just, but what it's doing is it's giving me a little bit more pressure for cleaning things versus, say, this low applicator nozzle, the low soap nozzle, okay? It's kind of more like the rinse nozzle. I call this a brick cleaning nozzle because it does great on brick, but this does great on brick too. It also does great on stucco. So the whole point is just to talk to you a little about these 05 nozzles, 0515, 0540, 5060. Now, I have found the sweet spot to be the 0540 nozzle setup for the 8 gallon per minute machine. If you have a 5 or a 5 gallon per minute, 6 gallon per minute, or a 4 gallon per minute, then I would recommend you trying the 0515, okay? Now, you need to understand something, that because something works for me, you may not like it, okay? A lot of this business is just buying stuff, you know, these nozzles and all. I can't tell you how many nozzle setups, and it's in the hundreds. I have hundreds of nozzles that I've tried over and over on different machines and all that kind of stuff, different J-rod setups, tri-rod setups, dual setups, whatever. It's just a matter of trying stuff and seeing if it's going to work for you. What works for me may not necessarily work for you. So that's what you know, that's the nozzle setups that I use. I love this, just being able to have 2 nozzles, and it pretty much can do everything that I need it to do. I don't have to have 4 different nozzles. Between this and just an open ball valve, a lot of times I'll rinse with just the open ball valve. It's not hurting your machine. It's not doing anything to it unless you crack it too much. And you'll hear your machine bog down. When you hear that, bring it back up, okay? But a lot of times I'll rinse with an open ball valve, but most of the time I'm rinsing with this 0540 nozzle on my 8 gallon per minute machine, because again, if I see a spot that I just want to reach over and hit, this has enough pressure to remove that, whether it's brick, stucco, ephes, whatever, and it's not going to scar it up. Now, if you got real close to it, you could scar it up and stripe it, but I don't do that. So you gotta learn how to use it too. So I just wanted to kind of give you a couple of hints on these 05 nozzles, 0515, 0550. You know, I've got them all in a bag that I find they come in handy. But this is basically the setup that I use on a daily basis. Hey, real quick before I get into the next little segment with another little tip, don't forget our next hands-on training is coming up April 12th. We just finished the one for March yesterday. March actually celebrates our 15th year doing hands-on training right here in Houston, Texas. Every single month for 15 years, we have offered, or I have offered hands-on training right here in Houston, Texas. We did that yesterday, had a couple guys come in from South Carolina, one from Roanoke, Texas, and one from Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. So very cool. But yeah, check that out, April 12th, and then we also have them every month for the rest of the year. You can see that at pressurewashingschool.com/events to see the whole schedule. If you have any questions about the school, about the training that we offer, you can call or text 281-883-3630. Or email me, pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com. And then if you have any questions about the store products, then you can email us at info@dougruckerstore.com or call or text 281-612-1223. Those are the best ways to reach me. Facebook Messenger, some of these other messaging things out there are not good. I don't really pay attention to Facebook Messenger. Pop on it every now and then just to see if I have a message, but use those other ways that I just gave you. That's the fastest and best way to get a hold of me and for me to respond as quickly as I possibly can. So also don't forget the online video school if you can't make it out here to Houston. I've had that for about 12, 13 years, and it's got a ton of value on there for you that will drastically help cut your learning curve. You can get the all-course bundle. It's a lifetime membership with over 200 and something videos. And you can access that anytime you want to. If you want to take individual courses, there's 4 of them. You can purchase those individually, but you only have a 2-week period to watch those before they expire and you can no longer access them. So the all-course bundle is the best value out there. So yeah, check all that out. That's at pressurewashingschool.com. You'll see the online video school at the top in the menu. All right, so the other thing that you can do if you don't want to invest money in a setup like this, which is, you know, you're 120, 130 bucks probably by the time you get this set up. Of course, a little bit less if you get something like this that I use, which is actually this one for the 8 gallon per minute, or this one is for my 5 gallon per minute machine. You can always just get you one of these dual 2-tip nozzles that are on the website, and then you could just get the Meg nozzles. In this case, let's say this is for a 4 gallon per minute machine. This would be the 0040 nozzle, which is your soap high nozzle. You can also rinse with that nozzle as long as you have a way to cut the flow of the bleach off, either using a downstream bypass injector or taking your siphon tube out of your bleach and putting it into a bucket of water, and then you could rinse with this. And then this is the low rinse nozzle. Again, I call it the brick cleaning nozzle because I love using it on brick because it's low enough pressure it's not going to hurt the brick, but it cleans very well and it's not high pressure. And this is a 2515. So you could always, no matter the gallon per minute of your machine, get you a couple of these that match up. The list is on the website, downstream J-Rod's, I think it's J-Rod nozzle kits. And it'll have, you know, the gallon per minute with the 4 nozzles for the J-Rod, but you would just, you know, eliminate the 00 nozzle and the 25 would be the higher of the two numbers, which would be the soap nozzle. So you'd be eliminating these two nozzles, and you just have these two nozzles. And you could pretty much do everything with this. Again, if you're soaping down low, you could just take this off, and if you have a ball valve setup, you could apply down low with just your ball valve setup. So that's just some options for nozzles. If you have any questions, if I've made this too confusing, just put some questions down below, or email me at info@DougRuckerStore.com, and I'll be happy to jump on the phone and do a phone order with you and make sure you get what you need. Either myself or Raimondo can help you do that, or shoot me an email or text 281-612-1223, and just something I think sometimes can, you know, make life a little bit simpler out there in the field, and that's what I'm all about, trying to make things as easy as possible. So hope it's been helpful for you. Hope it hadn't been too confusing, but like I said, leave me a question or comment below if you need any help. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Like I said, you know, if you have any questions, just let me know about these store nozzles, store products, or whatever. info@DougRuckerStore.com. Call or text 281-612-1223. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. Leave me a comment down below if you need to, or ask a question down below. Hit that subscribe, hit that bell, all of that kind of stuff. And we appreciate y'all watching very much, and hope it's been helpful. And I hope y'all have a very, very blessed rest of your week.